We also lost the audio to this one.
Oh.
I'm an idiot.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It happens.
We recorded 2 in the same session, and I had the wrong mic on both times. Doing it.
We doing it. Oh.
We doing it.
We in church. What? Oh. Blessed be thy name, Claudia.
Blessed be thy eyebrows. Invisible and yet all around us. Omnipotent.
Like Jesus. Jesus' eyebrows. If you believe in them, you will see them. Nice shirt.
I like that shirt a lot, actually. That is like a cute-ass shirt.
I think I mentioned this in the previous audio, but would you wear a shirt with yourself on it?
If I was doing a cool pose like that, fucking maybe.
If I had a gun, I think I'd wear whatever the fuck I wanted.
I think I chose this shirt because Heather is pointing a gun on the shirt. There's a big close-up of Heather pointing her gun while wearing a shirt of her pointing her gun, and I loved it.
If you've got a shirt of yourself doing whatever, you've got to maintain that pose while you're wearing the shirt.
You got to keep the meta going.
100%.
It's a recursive shirt. She's like talking past Heather to Alessa, but she's like, what? I like how she just like changes her voice to sound a little bit like smug, and she thinks that counts as this is what Alessa must have sounded like, I guess.
I don't need another world.
Well, it's almost like she's like mimicking like Claudia.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, oh, they're both weirdos that grew up in a cult. Maybe they got like a semi-British accent for no reason, even though we live in fucking Maine or whatever.
Yo, I just noticed that piano, dude. I want to play that thing.
I'm so sad that she doesn't play it or plink on it or anything.
Oh, Heather's back.
She's really bad at role playing. She couldn't keep up the character of Alessa.
She's also very defeatist. Look, suffering happens. It's okay.
It is what it is, bitch.
Besides, I'll never forgive you.
Just fucking shoot her, girl. What are you doing?
Serious.
Now's not the time for chat. Now's the time for shoot.
I also love how she was like, look, suffering's a fact of life. By the way, you made me suffer, so you're gonna fucking die.
What a hypocrite you are.
Oh, my tummy, 1 sec. Oh.
Diarrhea is like a storm raging inside you.
Diarrhea, it can strike at any time.
Even a climactic moment between you and the primary antagonist.
God's inflicting their punishment on Heather. I make you shit, lady.
I mean, to get biblical, it is like said that like, you know, painful childbirth and period pains is, you know, punishment for Eve's discretions in the Garden of Eden.
Yep.
So
that's what you get for eating that apple.
God, what a dumb slut. No.
Wow.
We're a fucking leaf, bitch. No. I'm sorry. I'm punchy. I'm stressed out.
I think we all are.
Yeah. We've got some cool cult info dump stuff coming up because people love reading.
Wait, I forget if it's in, I think it's Silent Hill 3, but isn't there another, I think it was Metal Gear Solid 3 that has that like lifted, or maybe it was Silent Hill 3. They both have the same painting imagery.
Yes, there's paintings in MGS3 that are taken from this stuff here.
Right,
and also,
right.
I'm gonna get fucking copyright claimed for this because this is from the Silent Hill 3 OST. This is not Donna Burke, it's Mary Elizabeth McGlynn talking over all this stuff, doing a great Claudia impression, by the way.
Or Maria, I guess.
Offered a serpent to the sun.
If we keep talking, you won't get copyright claimed.
That's true. I love all the art in this. Like, honestly, like,
yes.
True.
It
is really, really nice art. I don't know who made it. I should ask Masahiro Ito if he made these, but I don't think it looks like his style.
I doubt that he made these.
The ones with the monster type guys in it look a little more like his stuff. I don't know. Like this one, I think looks a little more like his stuff, but that might be because there's monsters in it.
Right. Yeah, I guess now that we talk about it, I've never really seen his like quote unquote normal like painting.
I don't know if he does normal painting.
I
He doesn't post it that much.
Also, I realized that I can't see it if he posted it. So anyway, because he blocked me.
But there's a lot of tasty lore stuff in here, including they mentioned the red god and the yellow god, Lobsylvith and Juchilbara, which has...
Is that how you pronounce those?
Yeah, which has been interpreted as being Pyramid Head and Valtiel because of the background of that painting. Sure, they don't seem... Like, Valtiel doesn't look very yellow to me, but okay, whatever. That's neat. Go ahead. Yeah. Go off. Something that's really interesting is that Juchilbara with a B is mentioned here. In Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2 actually. In Silent Hill 2, you find James can find a Book of Lost Memories somewhere, and it mentions Zuchilpaba, and you might think like, oh, mistranslation or something. That's actually an intentional thing that the developers did to show that names show up in mythology and folklore and get changed over time, depending on the literature and influences and stuff like that. So that's a purposeful fuck up.
I like that idea of like messing with your lore over time and just kind of using it to emphasize that, hey, maybe it's not just the narrator that's unreliable. Maybe it's the whole like world that you're in. But yeah. Oh. You're not supposed to be here, Heather.
Or am I?
This isn't your job.
Or is it?
Oh,
Stop! It's not funny. Yeah, this is a awkward, weird, long cutscene.
Yeah, it is surprisingly long.
It's surprisingly long. It's just like this one, like sweeping, slow camera motion, if I'm not mistaken.
So I guess we can talk about it. Who do you think this is?
No one.
No one? No one is talking.
No one. It's just some person.
Just some person.
You know? Looks like how, you know, when Vincent is talking to that lady on the recording, on the cassette tape, that's not that's not somebody important. It's just somebody.
Okay.
Who's in the cult. I think this is just, you know, somebody who's in the cult.
Because certain people think that this is Dahlia.
Which I think makes no sense because she didn't care about her daughter. She wouldn't be sad. And I don't see how any of it is a wicked act of revenge, what Dahlia did. None of it was revenge. It was completely selfish.
But you could
and for her to murder her own daughter and then murder somebody else's daughter, but they're distinct people, like none of this tracks to me. And I don't think Dahlia would beg forgiveness. Have you met this bitch? She crazy.
She might be being manipulative here in order to get Heather to maybe think of herself as like maybe God or something along those lines, which is the trick that's happening here. That's
a stretch, but okay, I see it. So the trick here is that this decision has a big influence on your ending. There's an amount of points you rack up invisibly over the course of the game that has to do with how much you are murdering the shit out of monsters mostly. But, you know, nurturing the rage of the god inside you, you know, killing a whole bunch of monsters. And also if you say, I forgive you to her, you are also taking on the role of God in saying that you forgive her. And that just all kind of ends up with this, the bad end, which is not just a bad end, but a bad end. It's not good. Like, it's not fun to watch. It's not satisfying. It's a crappy ending to a video game. You don't want it anyway. So don't say forgive you to this lady.
Honestly, on par with getting the UFO ending in Homecoming on your first try. It's just
yeah. It's just but I think it is like hard or impossible to get the bad ending on the first go of this game.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you are right.
I think you can't get it the first time. So
Yeah,
These
so
devs
that's
were
good.
smart enough to do that.
Very smart.
But yeah, I feel like saying that this lady is somebody important, whether it's Dahlia or Claudia or whatever, I feel like that's strange to do in the same way that it's strange to say that Douglas may have shot his own son just because he mentioned having killed someone before and later on mentioned that his son got shot doesn't mean he shot his son. And also, like, this also tracks with the, like, oh, Vincent must be the happy birthday caller because he's not Stanley. And the only other guy I know that kind of sounds like him is Vincent. But it's not Vincent. Like,
Right.
you know, it just feels like one of those, like, those stretches to try to find connections where there sometimes aren't. Like, there can be other people in this world. And I think that, like, sometimes it's more effective to be like, wow, there are other people in this cult outside of the 4 people you've met, you know?
Right, yeah. It's good to, like, emphasize that. It's good for world building. Because I think a lot of the emphasis on making you feel alone in the Silent Hill games might be, like, I don't know if it worked for Silent Hill 2 because it made the characters that you did find punch through so well. But in a game like Silent Hill 3, it, like, not being able to see people walking around in the mall when there's supposed to be people walking around.
You can hear people.
Yeah, you can hear people, but, like, you can't see them. You're not interacting with them. I don't know. I think that maybe there could be a case made for a game like Silent Hill 3 to show you these people and then take them away to then emphasize the feeling of being alone. It is a lot of work, though. But
that's why I like the confessor being a rando. You know, you have a very slight, you know, paths crossing moment with a different person. You don't know who they are. They're mysterious, but they are also, like, affected by this plot on the outside, you know, on the outskirts.
And I think
and, like, also same with the confessor, not the confessor, the lady talking to Vincent on the confessee. The lady who's confessing that she's weirded out by Claudia to Vincent later on the cassette tape. I also think that's a different person, probably.
Sure, yeah. And I think
like, you can't run a cult with only 2 people in it, is what I'm saying. There's got to be other people in the cult, right?
100%. 100%. And I think that, you know, even if the voice actors were the same, like, I wouldn't take that to mean that it is the same exact person.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Because, you know, you could make the case that, you know, 2 people can sound similar, or maybe there just wasn't enough budget, you know, and maybe the reason they didn't show these people is to, like, kind of make it feel like there are more people than there are.
I mean, hell, I keep mistaking Donna Burke and Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, and they are different fucking people. Shame on me.
Yep. But I think that there's also a tendency among the Silent Hill fandom to
sorry, what was where did your train of thought go there?
Sorry, I can never get enough of the flamethrower making enemies spaz out.
Well, here's another one.
Oh, you did it for extra long too. Wow. Oh. Anyway, yeah, there's a tendency among us fans to look for answers when answers might not be there. Like, it's sometimes the point of asking a question isn't to find the answer, it's to make you think about the question. And, like, a lot of the time, like, especially in a game like Silent Hill 2, like, you're trying to figure out, like, what some of these things mean, what some of these things are. And don't get me wrong, there are important, like, plot related things where those answers matter. But when you have someone, like, arguing about whether or not Pyramid Head's head is a helmet or not, like,
it's like, does it matter? Like,
and not only does it matter, is, like, think about why, like, he's like, what Pyramid Head represents, why he was,
and, like, why do you care?
Yeah, I mean, there is that element to it too. Yeah,
like, I feel like, you know, because there are like, actual mysteries in this game that are able to be solved if you pay attention and draw, you know, some lines in between the I'm thinking of like a conspiracy board with the red lines going back and forth between different things. You can draw lines between things and find connections and be like, oh, that's why that happened, or that was that person's motivation, or like that's why they thought this did that. There are mysteries like that aren't explicitly told to the player, and it's kind of up to you to kind of suss it out. And because there are those mysteries existent, that doesn't mean that there aren't things that are just in there for fun and don't have a real answer. That's the thing. Gamers think that since there's some stuff that can be solved, all of it can be solved.
Right.
And sometimes it fucking ain't meant to be.
Especially in a horror game where the questions are maybe supposed to highlight the fact that there might not be an answer. Like that's kind of how
that's scary.
Yeah, exactly. And like the idea behind that is quintessential to what horror is. I mean, you know, you think about the big question of like, why are we here? You know, some people can, like with horror games, some people expound on that as like, maybe there is no reason, so nothing matters, and that makes you like scared or afraid. And a lot of horror games I've played have dealt with that specific question, but none of them are trying to explicitly answer it, is my point. So anyway, there's Valtiel crawling on the ground.
Valtiel, what do you think, buddy? My bro. We haven't really talked about him. You never learn his name in game, by the way, but that's Valtiel.
I used to think that
outside game knowledge.
I used to think that, and I saw people posting about this a while ago, that Pyramid Head's name wasn't actually in Silent Hill 2. And I posted, I talked about that in the Homecoming LP. And then, yeah, a bunch of people let me know, no, it totally is. So it's like a reverse of that.
It's the description of the Great Knife says, like, Pyramid Head was carrying this.
Yep, I went back to play and see it, yeah.
But Valtiel, his name is never mentioned. It's totally outside knowledge. I think it shows up in Book of Lost Memories, IRL. The real one, not the in-game one.
I was just reading that the other day, yeah. It's
a good, neat little book. It's basically made by the developers to kind of clear up a bunch of themes and stuff like that. It's a really cool resource.
Yeah.
Love it. Check it out. Speaking about mysteries solved, that's the big tome. If there is a tome in existence of Silent Hill lore, that's basically the only thing you're going to come across. There isn't anything more detailed than that out there in existence. But anyway, Valtiel, his name is interesting because Val is like short for valet, like val as in valet, and El meaning God. So he is the valet of God. And if you've been paying attention, he never hurts us, but he always seems to be following us and making sure we're getting to our next point.
Dragging us off when we die.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he cares about Heather. He just cares about her as an incubator, I think.
He's not like Pyramid Head at the end of Silent Hill's Revelations 3D. Silent Hill Revelations.
Yeah, that guy.
Valtiel's not going to get into a fight for us.
He's not chivalrous.
He's not nipple chivalrous.
God, he's not going to date you. Stop defending him. Oh, this is a doozy too. Look at this lore over here. Saint Alessa, mother of God, daughter of God. And look, there's tons of fire behind her and no boilers exploding behind her. I can't help but notice there's no boiler imagery in all of the games ever.
Wonder why that is. Strange.
It's probably a mistake on the developer's part to not include the very important boilers. I'm sorry, I'm being really punchy about it still. We're gonna make a video about it.
It's okay.
Everybody calm down. We're gonna make a video. We're not gonna be too mean about it, but we're frustrated. I'm sorry.
We gotta clear some stuff up.
Gotta clear the smoky air.
I like the stairs. Is that a reference? No joke. Is that like maybe, do you think, a reference to Fiery Staircase from Silent Hill 2?
I don't think those are stairs. I think that's just like more grading.
Okay, my bad.
Because I think that is a artistic representation of the end of Silent Hill 1 specifically, where, you know, there's like fire and brimstone and all that shit happening and the whole other world is falling apart and Alessa hands baby Heather to Harry. 100%, I think that's a depiction of that scene. That's really why there's fire in it. But I think like fire is such an important motif altogether that it can't just be like ignored as like a mistake.
Oh yeah,
you know,
100%.
Especially when fire sacrifices are real life things that always happen. You know,
like they have happened. I mean, it wasn't. What was it? The witch that was like that was a part of it, or I think it was at the end. But regardless, like burning at the stake, like
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing. Wow.
Oh my god, it's that fucking guy that killed my dad. Oh wait. He's just a wuss now.
Oh, you can just straight up murk him, but cool.
Yep. Those are not scrapers anymore. They're not missionaries anymore. They're called scrapers now that they are not bosses. Not a boss? I don't know. Book of Lost Memories say they have different names. Like, all right, if you say so, it's the same model though. So, Yeah,
didn't Silent Hill 4 do that? Like with some of the enemies, if I remember correctly. Like they're like, oh yeah. What were they called?
The guys on the wall? The wall guys?
Oh man, I can't believe I forgot their name already.
What do they look like?
We were just talking about this.
Twin Victim.
Twin Victim, you got it. And then they turned into something else?
Bottoms.
Yeah, bottoms.
They're called bottoms. It's true. They're called bottoms.
Right.
Internet. Can you believe that shit? Anyway.
Wonderful. It's great.
It was a simpler time before anyone knew any lingo. But yeah, they were like different though. Like they.
Yeah, they were. Maybe that's a bad example of what I'm talking about.
They're similar.
You're talking more about like Ryu and Ken in early Street Fighter 2.
No, it's more like how Mandarins from Silent Hill 2 got reused to be closers in this game.
Yes.
The same model. That's more like it, yeah.
Which I want to go off on Ito at some point.
Go off.
I'm going to go off real quick. Ito has said in the past that the reason for that is because Silent Hill, the town itself, the power will absorb.
It retains some memories.
It retains like the DNA and memories of these things. And yet Ito is also saying that like James is the reason why Pyramid Head is like exists.
Only James's monster.
It's only James's
cannot be
monster.
reused. So
But
it's
and
what a hypocrite.
Going as far to be like, oh, if I'm ever going to be a part of a new Silent Hill game, I'm going to kill Pyramid Head or like not have him in it at all. But it's like, you already said that the town retains the DNA. Whatever. I mean, I agree with him. I get that. And Pyramid Head will 100% not be as like memorable if he's constantly used in
or
all of these games going
meaningful.
forward. Yeah, exactly. Like he's really meaningful in Silent Hill 2. And showing restraint is adding to that meaningfulness. But you said that the town retains...
American horror and restraint don't go together.
Yeah.
Usually. Historically.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though. I mean, that was a big blanket statement.
Occasionally.
All right, call me out. That was a big blanket statement. Sorry. I'm already apologizing to the commenters being like, how dare you?
I like the sound effect work there. Oh,
I don't actually want to hit any buttons because what if I fuck up the recording?
I was like, wow, that's brave.
I'm really brave. It's true. Oh, it's Vincent.
Oh, this scene.
Are you anyway? Haven't you realized that yet?
If you had to rank, because a lot of people had a boner for Vincent, if you had to rank attractiveness of Silent Hill characters, who do you think is the most attractive Silent Hill character? Because there's not a lot of good pickings. Everyone looks kind of fucked up. Everyone looks a little sick.
I mean, Harry's pretty sexy in Silent Hill 1.
I love him. He's got such an angular face. I really dig that.
And I mean, I got a thing for Douglas's heart-shaped shorts.
We should make a calendar of like the hunks of Silent Hill.
Hunks of Silent Hill, yeah, that'd be funny.
It's all Pyramid Head until the last month, which is Harry.
A pyramid head, the nipple pyramid head, though.
Nipple Pyramid Head, no.
Nipple mid-head.
Oh.
Oh, man.
So, hey, motivations are happening in this. Weird.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, Vincent is just a greedy fuck, and he doesn't want God to be born, even though he does believe all of this. Because he's just a capitalist and wants to make money from the cult.
To stop Claudia, is that it?
You got it.
I really like the dynamic, though. I really like the dynamic of Vincent and Claudia. I wish it was expounded upon a little bit more, but
Yeah, that would be neat, but I feel like it's a nice little hint.
yeah.
Like I feel like that's probably one of the more interesting things this game does with the cult is hint that not everyone in the cult is a hive mind,
Right.
and imply that Dahlia was a weird outlier in doing what she did too. you know, there's cult as a business and cult as a belief, and like Dahlia was kind of playing both sides because she was running drugs for the cult. Like,
yeah.
that was like a big moneymaker, I'm sure. And that's why Kaufman was involved. So Vincent is sort of like the Kaufman of this particular game.
More hands-on than, Kaufman, but yeah.
And more handsome than Kaufman, but...
I'll take your word for it.
No.
I guess I'll put it this way. I can see how people could find Vincent attractive.
If you squint your imagination.
It's his hair, though. Like, get this fucker a haircut. Yeah.
It was 2002.
Anyway.
Everyone had that Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut.
Yeah, true.
Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Dun dun dun. There it is.
Dun.
The line has landed.
It's just a joke.
The joke hasn't, but the line did.
So, yeah, what do you think? Is that real? Is that true? Are the monsters actually people? Is that why there are a lot of monsters in here? Because they're all cultists?
Sound off in the comments if you...
You said sound off for a second, and I thought that like you wanted me to turn my sound off or something.
Well, I think as I've hopefully made clear, I don't have a strong stance on it. I have a Schrodinger's cat sort of stance on it, where I can see that I like the idea of both of them, and I'm not married to either. I understand the pros and cons of both sides. I respect that people are like, Heather's not killing people. What the fuck? I get that.
Yeah.
I also get like, oh, if she's killing people, why aren't people stopping her? And it's like, you can dream up excuses for that too. Like, oh, if she's only killing cultists in the fucking weird ass other world where there's no normal people, maybe normal people can't see the cultists either. You know, like, fucking why not? This is the Wild West of theories right here.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's something that is a mystery not meant to be solved right there. That is a great example of one of those.
Yep.
There's no answer to that one. The boiler, though, I got opinions on.
And it's almost worse if there is a concrete answer for that.
Yeah.
Because you can find evidence for both. Like, the evidence for people being monsters is obviously the previous boss that we just fought. Like,
yeah, Leonard.
Leonard was talking to us. And
that was a human guy that looked like a monster, and she fucking murdered him. So there's a big evidence right there that it is indeed possible that that's true.
Exactly. And like, Heather killed someone. Like, a thinking, breathing, like...
That's a person.
Even if it was a monster, they were talking to us. They had intelligence. And Heather's just like chill with that. So... Yeah,
she was downright sassy about getting ready to murder that guy. Even
she 100% was.
She didn't seem like stressed out or self-defensey about it. Just like, well, I guess you're a nutcase too.
I really would like a version of Silent Hill 3 where you replace all the monsters with just like people.
Oh, by the way, the puzzle to get that Hanafuda shirt, the Royal Flush shirt, it's in this library, and it's very weird. I'm going to show that off in a puzzle video. It's the most unfair puzzle of all, because it's basically just like, do you get the reference? If not, you can't do the puzzle.
This game and its puzzles,
sorry.
dude. Jeez. Also, did we talk
maybe
about
that's why
the map?
Silent Hill fans are... Oh, yeah, no, we didn't.
The map is, if we bring it up later, you'll notice that it is very, it looks like a child made it. And that's because it seems like, I looked this up after our previous commentary got lost.
Recording.
But it seemed, there is no, it's only implied. I only saw that a documentary somewhere talked about it, but I could not find that documentary, so take this with a grain of salt. But apparently one of the developers of the game, in order to create this level, they had their kid draw like a layout of this level, and they based the entire level on that drawing.
No way, the whole what? I thought it was just a little bunny drawing in the corner.
No. Yeah, according...
That's hilarious.
If I remember correctly, and I can look it up...
This crazy mixed up world has got me used to the strangest things. Kids drawing maps? What?
Well, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound so far-fetched. But yeah, so that's what I heard. I don't know if that's, take it with a grain of salt, like I said. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like the idea that
That's
that
really cute.
made it very cute. Yes. I think I also learned that off the Silent Hill wiki. So definitely add another grain of salt to that. So anyway.
They agree with me about the boiler. That's weird. Anyway. This room reminds me of the one in Silent Hill 2 where you find a whole bunch of corpse holes in the prison.
Right. Yep,
very similar
100%.
room. I also want to talk about, Nora was telling me about like the original translation of the monsters. They look like monsters to you scene. Yeah. And she said it was originally translated by Jeremy as, "You thought it was fun to spill their blood and watch them suffer, didn't you? You get such a rush from the way they scream when they're underfoot," which she thinks she prefers. Just comparing the two. Jeremy's version is a little more true to the Japanese, but she gets the feel that Konami wanted the version that they went with because it's kind of weird phrasing. I'm kind of like reading this, but like rephrasing it with she's in it instead of I because she wrote it in first person. But the Japanese word they use in there is kofun, which means like excited, but can also mean like turned on sexually. So
interesting.
Like that's why he said like get a rush instead of like you get excited, but like they ended up going with the other one because like when you step on them and snuff out their lives sounded more literal to what you do in the game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. I don't know about the word underfoot, but
underfoot is a funky word though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a weirdo though. He's in a cult.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and yeah, you're right. He is something that he would probably say.
He would say that though. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Anyway,
Vincent is wacky. News at 11.
But yeah, we're in Harry's room where we left his corpse, where he's dead, and his body ain't here, but his diary is, and he's talking about how he feels really bad that he renamed the new baby Cheryl as if it was Cheryl 2.0, and he feels bad because it's like, this is a totally different person and I love her too, and will she feel bad when she finds out like that's why I did that, and there was a previous version of her that I thought of her as a replacement. I hope she doesn't think that. And she also mentioned here she remembers her mom, which is Harry's wife, who only lived a couple years before she died. Who only lived a couple years before she died. That's a sentence. Who's only around for a short time in Heather's young life, rather Cheryl's young life.
Yeah.
It's confusing. This game's confusing. But Silent Hill Wiki says that Harry Mason's wife's name is Jodie, and that's taken from the novelization of Silent Hill 1. It's completely made out of the blue. I do not know where Jodie came from. I think the author made it up. Whoever made that.
Really? So
I don't think that's approved.
Whatever. So the novelization wasn't done with the approval of Team Silent, or?
I don't think so. I think it was just Konami being like, sure, whatever. I don't know.
Why am I not surprised? Oh, hi.
Jeez.
just coming around the corner. Get out of my way.
Like, wait for the other one to rub it in. These are the guys that killed Harry, and they spawn like when you leave that room.
Yeah.
Rude. Just rude.
Very rude. Hey, remember? Your dad's dead, remember?
Your dad's dead.
That would be great if on the wall was just like, your dad's dead.
Your dad dead, spelled like that. Well, spelled in the Comic Sans font that they used in the movie. Come to Silent Hill, your dad's dead, lol.
Oh my god. I found that the full movie on YouTube, and I'm thinking about like live tweeting it or something because I haven't seen that in forever.
It's on Netflix.
Why? Take it off
because
Netflix. It's going to corrupt everything on that fucking like service.
Bad.
That movie is a virus.
It's bad. It's a bad movie.
It needs to be like quarantined.
But yeah, every time me and Chip are looking at Netflix, be like, what do you want to watch? I always see Silent Hill Revelations. And I'm like, you want to watch Silent Hill Revelations?
Has he ever seen Silent Hill Revelations 3D?
Yes, I made him watch Silent Hill Revelations, and he was shocked at how stupid it was.
Oh, man. How wide did his mouth get? Oh, God.
About that wide.
I forgot this was in here. Oh, yeah.
It made a great loop point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's a perfect loop point.
I'm getting short of breath hearing it. Ugh. I have to breathe. I'm noticing my breathing.
Gotta manually breathe.
Anyway, how wide did his mouth get when you saw the Pop-Tart scare?
None percent. He's not that jump scary of a person unless you sneak up on him.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, make this stop.
This lasts a while. I'm sorry.
Oh, I hate it.
And just like that. Just like that, it's over. Fuck it.
Oh man.
I died hilariously, and that's the end of this video. You're welcome, everybody. I'm gonna do a replay of that because I found it. I was tickled by this death.
Yeah, this is a glitch on the PC version, if I remember correctly.
No shit, I don't know. I mean, I gotta try it out on my PS2 version. I also did a wide shot where you can see what the pendulum does here. Come back! I'm not done with you!
She's not dead yet. Get her!
Gonna kick her while she's down in the chasm. But I wanted to do a little, not like a podcast or anything. I wanted to mention some stuff that we forgot to mention. We forgot to mention what the hell the Fukuro nurse is. She's going to show up again in episode 14 as well. But it's that lady we saw earlier. We were climbing up the ladder and we were like, oh, it's the Fukuro nurse. And I don't think we talked about what Fukuro is. It's a really cool, look it up, Fukuro. It is a music video type thing, like a concept trailer type thing, but Silent Hill 2 was already out when it came out. But it has Pyramid Head in it. It's spooky. It's Lynchian, Cronenbergian. It looks great. It's a little sexy creepy. And it also syncs up really well to Queen's Don't Stop Me Now. So please look up Fukuro, and then after you've done watching it, look up Fukuro Don't Stop Me Now. And that's all you need to know about that. It's just spooky. It came with another one, Usagi, another music video type thing, and that heavily features Robbie the Rabbit. It's not as good, not as much of a banger. It doesn't sync up to any music in a funny way, so we don't talk about it that much.
It's also, Robbie the Rabbit is the bane of my existence.
They tried so hard to make him a thing. Stop trying to make Robbie a Rabbit a thing. Like,
if something will be a thing, then it will be a thing. Like, Pyramid Head just became a thing. Like, don't try to just shove him in everything that you do. I understand why they wanted to make a mascot. I get that. But, like, the fucking rabbit with blood on its mouth, that's what you try to make a thing?
Very uncreative.
It's so...
It's like Hot Topic-y.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's very basic,
Very.
Ooh, a teddy bear with blood on its mouth. Like, what? Like, the bunny with blood on its mouth. Whoa. Shut up.
It's like if this thing that's made for a kid is creepy.
What? That's
dolls
crazy.
are creepy. Oh. I don't know what voice I'm doing.
Speaking of dolls are creepy, the other thing I want to mention was, remember that weird little portrait above Heather's bed of that strange-looking fella?
Yes.
I was put out the call on Twitter, the human search engine. Twitter, what the fuck is this thing? Surely it's from something. And of all people, KC Green, creator of This Is Fine and all other amazing comics that you've seen and other memes, he chimed in and was like, oh, I know exactly what that's from. It's from Jan Svankmeyer's Punch and Judy. So here's a little clip of that. That's what it looks like. And there's that fucking guy. You should check that out too. It's a long little, it's like a short film, Yeah. A long little short film. But it's weird. It's cute. It's kind of funny, actually. It's like actually genuinely pretty funny. A little creepy in that it feels old and weird, but I would recommend watching it. Why the fuck does Heather care about that? Don't know.
Well, thanks, Casey. Came through in a pinch.
Thank you so much. You definitely did. What a fun surprise to get to the bottom of this.
If I ever have any questions about art-related things, I'm gonna hit that dude up.
Yeah, but like I didn't even know it was like an art-related thing.
You just thought it was like something.
Just like weird. Like I didn't know what it could have been from, like.
Yeah.
And I hadn't the foggiest idea.
The foggy.
Oh, whoa! Look what I did. That's the. I should end on the pun.
You fell down a series of holes to land into that pun. That was worse.
Yep, it ruined it. Goodbye, everybody.